Hey guys, it's Dan again from CryptoCamacho.com, where each day I teach you how to make more money in cryptocurrency. And guys, wow, we are at the tip of the iceberg, guys. Cryptocurrency is just heating up. If you're watching this video, you are in the right place at the right time, because mark my words, this is only going to grow and grow and grow and grow. We have not even hit mass adoption at all, right? We're still in the innovators and early adopters phase. And when mass adoption hits, which I expect it will start hitting in 2018, you're going to see the market caps going up. You're going to see a lot of different altcoins, Bitcoins, Ethereums, whatever. All of these coins are going to be starting to go up in value, and you're already starting to see that quite a bit, guys. There's new ICOs that are popping up all over the place. A lot of them have enormous potential. Some of them don't, but many of them do. And today I actually wanted to talk about one of those ICOs specifically. This ICO has monumental potential, guys. What they're trying to do is take an ancient, not an ancient, but a very old requirement that the government imposes on business, and they're trying to not only digitize it, but they're trying to put it on the blockchain to make it much more efficient. The market size for this technology that they are trying to build is astronomical. It's huge, guys. So let me jump right into it. It's KYC legal. KYC means know your customer. So KYC is a process that it happens primarily in the US and other countries as well, but it's a process called know your customer, and it's essentially required by the US government that requires companies to validate and to understand and know and actually confirm who their customers are, who their clients are, so forth and so on, so that they know who they're doing business with, right? To prevent things like fraud, like money laundering, money bribing, terrorist activity, things like that. That's why they have this thing called Know Your Customer. Let's jump over to Wikipedia really quick, just so you guys really understand what Know Your Customer is, because I want you to understand the size of this opportunity in front of you. So Know Your Customer is the process of a business identifying and verifying the identity of its clients. The term is also used to refer to the bank and anti-money laundering regulations which govern these activities. Know your customer processes are also employed by companies of all sizes for the purposes of ensuring their proposed agents, consultants, distributors are anti-bribery compliant, right? So this is what companies must go through in order to be compliant with government law, right? With US law, they are required to go through this KYC, this know your customer process. And right now, it's a bloated system. It's very bureaucratic. It's bloated. It's not efficient. I mean, think of the DMV, and then think of know your customer processes. They're equivalent to the DMV, right? I've worked for Fortune 500 companies where we've actually had to do know your customer or KYC rules, and it is ridiculous. It is absolutely terrible, the processes that we have today. So what KYC is trying to do, KYC legal, what they're trying to do is they're trying to systematize and operationalize all of the KYC compliance requirements, processes, regulations, compliance. They're trying to put that all on the blockchain, guys, and streamline the entire thing on the blockchain. This is astronomical. If these guys can pull this off, it's huge. It's not only going to pertain to the US, but it's going to pertain to, worldwide. When somebody needs to validate the identity of somebody, they're going to do it through KYC legal. They're going to do it on the blockchain, right? And they're going to have proof through biometric data, through personal identification, and through third-party agent validation that what is encrypted on the blockchain about a particular individual is accurate and that person is who they say they are. That is why this is an enormous opportunity, guys. So let's before I jump into the ICO token sale itself, let's get deeper to what KYC actually is. KYC is a service that allows to verify users and to prevent fraud. It is based on blockchain technology as a tool for protecting and validating personal data of internet users. If you have a moment, watch this video. It's about 1.5 minutes long. Highly recommend it. It'll teach you a little bit about what the company is doing. Okay, so their business model, guys, this does not the best job at explaining it, but I want to, take you guys over to let's go over to the FAQs, okay? Okay, what is the idea behind KYC legal project? Many countries and industries have specific rules on client relations. For example, it is incredibly difficult, nearly impossible, in fact, to open a bank account or receive a prescription for a rare medication without the proper proof of identity. In the US, this concept is called Know Your Customer, or KYC. Our product, KYC's product, allows the identity of users to be established and documented so that going forward, they can register for any services that require such verification by providing only the information which is required for each individual service. So think about this, guys. So what KYC Legal is trying to do, they're going to get all this user information. They're going to validate it with the user and a third-party agent. They're going to then encrypt it on the blockchain. They're going to decentralize it across the world. And any database, any proprietary database can then tap into the KYC decentralized database or blockchain and validate who somebody is. This is huge, guys. There will essentially be a decentralized distributed database that will house the identities of thousands, millions of people, right? So when you go to buy beer at a store, you may not need to give your driver's license. You really can be validated through this system, right? Because on the blockchain, it will know, oh, this is Dan, this is Crypto Camacho, he wants to buy beer. Is he 21? Yep, he's 21 because his birthday is on this date. This is a trivial example, and I'm just trying to, simplify it a bit so you guys understand what this actually means. Another example, if you go to a pharmacy and you try to buy medicine, right? You typically need to give your identification, right? Your passport, your driver's license. Again, this may not be needed because they will that medical office or pharmacy or whatever will be able to tap into this decentralized network that KYC Legal is building, and they'll be able to validate, oh, you're Dan, that's who you say you are, and here's all of your information about it, right? It's a little scary in some ways because the amount of power, the amount of information that will be contained in something like this is going to be mind-blowing. But I think this is the wave of the future, guys. I think this is going to really heat up in a variety of areas, medical, insurance, like in all areas, this is what's going to happen. So like it or not, this is what's actually happening. So let's dig in a little bit easier, right? We have created a product that makes it much easier to comply with client identification requirements. The product is made up of two parts. Document verification through a mobile application. So that'd be me, right? I would go to the mobile app, I would type in who I am, and I would submit it to the blockchain, right? The second part, let's see. The second part is when you validate your identification and documents with the help of a KYC Legal agent. So the way it will work is you'll put in your information into this app. You'll then meet an agent in your local city. You'll actually talk with that agent. They'll verify who you are. All of that will be submitted into the blockchain, and you will then have a valid identity on the blockchain that KYC is building. And then anything you do, anytime you need to be validated, whether it's business related, personal related, you can do so by just pulling the information up on this KYC Legal blockchain, guys. Okay, so let's go a little bit further, and then I do want to get into the team. I want to get into the white paper a little bit, and I want to get into the token sale a little bit. So I don't want to draw this out too long, right? Which services did you have in mind when creating your application? Exchanges, crypto exchanges, brokerage offices, banks, funds, online loans, etc. The next level will include, for example, services such as online orders, prescription of medicines, proof of user's age, the purchase of alcohol or tobacco, and any word services that require identity to be to verify who you are, right? So they get it. They get that, starting off small is the way to go, but then scaling it up to larger business applications will actually happen.
All right, guys, so now let's jump over to the one-pager that they have. Now you guys have a basic understanding of how this works. So let's jump over to the one-pager. They actually have a pretty good one-pager on how the process works. So here it is. Take a look at it. You can quickly go to the homepage and download it. But essentially, KYC is the identity verification platform on a blockchain. So it's essentially creating identities on the blockchain and then associating, specific information to that identity on the blockchain. And then KYC Legal specifically provides a solution on all exchanges, ICOs, banks, funds, or any time that your identity needs to be verified. KYC Legal will actually help validate that through a third-party agent. This little diagram right here actually does a pretty good job. You have your personal data, your age, your name, your address, things like that. You go ahead and put that on the blockchain through this mobile app. Then it goes and stores on the blockchain, and then a third-party agent would come and meet you in a local place, a local environment, whether it's your city, your home, wherever, a coffee shop, and they would validate that information that it's accurate. And once they did that, you'd be done. Your identity would be stored on the blockchain, and you could go on your merry way, and then you can use that to validate your identity for banks, for investments, for business dealings, for buying alcohol, or whenever you need to provide verification for your identity, right? So now let's kind of look through this a little bit more. It starts talking about the token sale, which we'll go into in a moment here. I'm not going to get into that here. I do want to spend just a moment going into the white paper. And here's the white paper. It's very well put together. It's about 25 pages long. It's not something that was thrown together very quickly. It's been thought out very extensively. But I do want to jump down to just maybe one or two sections in here to give you a little bit of insight on the value proposition and on what exactly this white paper proposes. And you can go ahead and obviously read through the whole thing, but this will give you a little bit of context to what it is. So KYC Legal is a service that allows you to verify users and prevent fraud based on blockchain technology as a tool to protect and validate personal data for internet users. KYC Legal provides users a painless and fast verification process through their mobile app, like I was just talking about. They then, confirm that and secure that using biometric data, and then that data is all hosted over the blockchain and can be used then to validate, any other third party that needs that information. And then service providers, or agents as they call them, will come and validate your information and then basically crystallize it or solidify it on the blockchain that KYC is building, which can then be used for anything else, right, to validate your identity. So one other piece I just wanted to go and look at really quick with you guys is, in theory, a single technology would have secure access to our personal data and provide it on demand to services per our agreement. Instead of hundreds of verification processes, we would have one. Instead of days of waiting for approval, we would wait minutes. Instead of exposing our data to thousands of platforms for an indefinite period, we would keep it private and under control. So that doesn't actually happen today, right? So today there are many agencies, hundreds of verification processes. They take days, if not weeks, to confirm. Think about getting a driver's license as an example, or a passport. It takes quite some time to get that and to have that issued. KYC is trying to solve that problem. They're trying to consolidate this all down into a single process, into a single technology that is secured on the blockchain. So it's actually a pretty amazing idea when you think about it, and the potential is actually very big if they can pull this off, right? And the reason why I say if they can pull it off is because a lot of people are going to be against this type of technology. They're not going to want their identification stored on a blockchain. They're not going to want that, exposed to anybody, let alone, a third party that'll be working with governments. So I know that there will be mixed feelings about this particular ICO, but at the same time, if you look at how they're bridging the gap between, traditional government regulatory processes or requirements that are mandated by the government, they're trying to bridge that between this new cryptocurrency world, blockchain technology, to find kind of an intermediary, right? Where we can make things more simplified, we can streamline things without compromising, any type of security, compromising any type of threat to your personal identification. So it's a very interesting business model. I do want to go through and kind of just go through the team with you guys really quickly. This team is a seasoned team of veterans. Daniel Rosov, he's the actual founder. But what I really want to focus on are the advisors. The advisors, and one in particular, David Drake, has signed on with KYC Legal. David Drake is kind of a renowned mogul in the venture capital space. Let's jump over here to his profile. So he's actually the founder and the president, or chairman, I guess, if you will, of LDJ Capital, who manages $1.5 trillion in assets. So this guy has been around for a little while. He's been managing investments for a long time. He's done investments in things that are not traditional, right? He's invested in Dropbox, Magic Leap, Crowdfunder, and all of these other Lyft, all of these other companies, right? As well as real estate investments as well. So this guy knows what he's doing. He's signing on, and I think he's the type of person that he's not going to sign up for small potatoes. He's not going to sign up for a couple $1 million or for an investment that's only going to yield him a couple $1 million. He's going to sign up for the big investments, right? He's interested in the multi-billion-dollar deals. And I think KYC Legal can pull off a multi-billion-dollar deal, assuming they can crack this industry and make this happen. But if they do, the market size is going to be enormous. I mean, billions, if not trillions of dollars could flow through this process that KYC Legal is trying to pull off. So I think that's very fascinating to me on the one hand. Let's dig into David Drake a little bit more. So they announced on LDJ Capital that David Drake will be joining KYC Legal as a strategist, which is good. It confirms to me that that's legitimate. It confirms to me that he's actually going to be participating in this ICO. He's going to be advising KYC Legal strategically on how to move the company forward past the ICO stage, if you will. And you could kind of read through this, but I did want to show you that, it's on the LDJ Capital website. David Drake is going to be participating in KYC Legal. It has a lot of experience in that space. So go ahead and check that out for sure. So one other thing I wanted to show you guys before I actually talk about the specifics in the token sale is take a look here at bitcointalk.org. So if you search for KYC Legal on Bitcoin Talk, you'll see this, right? And now already, this was posted on November 7th, so a little bit more than a month ago, and there's over 81 pages of comments on KYC Legal. So there's clearly interest in KYC Legal. There's clearly opinions on whether or not this technology will be adopted, people's thoughts on whether or not they would like to participate in this. Take a look at some of these comments down here, guys. I think there's a lot of value you can gain and insight from just reading through these comments. But what I wanted to focus on really was, this is 81 pages, and this is going to only grow and grow and grow. And over time, there's going to be more and more and more interest for things like KYC Legal. These things are going to start popping up all over the place, where companies are going to start using blockchain technology to try to simplify and streamline existing archaic processes that exist, right? Whether it's through governments, whether it's through regulatory agencies, whatever it may be, this kind of thing is going to pop up all over the place, and this one is ripe for the picking. So now let's jump over to the token sale itself. Let's see. Let's go up to the top, go to the token sale. So there are a total of 42 million KYC tokens that will be going into this ICO. About 9.7 million has been raised to date. We're currently in stage 3, about 6 hours left of stage 3, and it goes all the way up to stage 14. If you buy in now, you get it at 125 per token. At stage 14, you'll get it for 250 per token, and that definitely does sound kind of expensive, especially when you're seeing some of these ICOs come out as pennies, right? 2, 3, 4, 5 cents. This is actually, fairly expensive when you stop to think about it. But the reasoning I think behind this is I think it's so expensive because the potential for widespread mass adoption mandated by government agencies is enormous, right? And so I think this price point is a bit high when you kind of look at it on the surface, but when you really dig down and really look at how big the market size can be for KYC Legal, it's definitely in the billions. It could be in the trillions. I don't know for sure, but it's enormous, right? And so I think they're factoring that into this price point here, saying, look, if we're issuing 42 million coins and we're pricing it at 1.25 per coin, that's a market cap of over $42 million, right? It's probably in the $60 million range. And then when you look at the 250, out of the gate, they're immediately going to be in like the $120, $150 million market cap range, right? Which is actually still relatively low for a technology like this. So it doesn't concern me too much, although it's something to pay attention to, right? But if you do want to participate in the token sale, you just go to the homepage, kyc.legal, you click on buy tokens, and you could get a discount right now. Would love to know your guys' thoughts on this particular ICO. I did a similar review on the AML Bitcoin ICO. This one's very similar, though it does look like it's a bit more developed in terms of the concept. It's a bit different than what AML is trying to achieve. KYC is actually trying to create an app and trying to really create a single process for all KYC processes moving forward in the future. And they're going to be they're going to be working with a number of government agencies, a number of regulatory agencies, not only in the US, but across the world, to start having them adopt this technology. I'm curious how it'll be adopted by the public. I'm curious the concerns the public will have. I'd love to know what your concerns are. If you think it's too much, a big brother jumping into the blockchain scene. If you're concerned that this information would be able to get into the wrong hands, I'd be very curious to know your thoughts on that as well. But nonetheless, whether you believe in this or not, I think there's a massive opportunity here that we can't simply ignore, right? Whether or not you believe in this technology, whether or not you believe that this is legitimate and it does or doesn't invade on your privacy, doesn't really matter, because I'm interested on if you think this is going to make money or not, right? I am interested to know if you think it's concerning to you, because that will definitely help me to understand, what widespread adoption may look like and some of the fears and uncertainties and so forth. But really just curious if you guys think there is a investment potential here to make a good return on this coin, right? So guys, I'm Dan from CryptoCamacho.com. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully if it was useful. If so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and click on that red button right below this video. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you in a bit. See you guys.